Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a beautiful sunny day here in the Peak District. Now just over this grassy ridge is the tiny village of Earl Sterndale, and that's the start location of today's walk, which I've taken from this amazing book, Peak Bagging, Peak District by Anna Paxton. It takes in 4 Ethels, it is 11.5 kilometres and is about 600 metres of ascent. And it is of course the Dragon's Back Ridge, which I can see right in front of me. Let me spin you around so you can see. Well, isn't that an absolutely stunning view? This peak on the left is Beghaus Hill, and that is the first of the summits. Now there is an option to go around if you don't fancy the steep scramble up, and also it's a steep scramble down on limestone, so it can be quite slippery. And then when I get to the base, I'm going to be going up Chrome Hill, which I can see over the far distance over there. And those two peaks form the Dragon's Back. And then I'm going to be heading over to Hollins Hill and then High Edge before taking a high path all the way back over to Earl Sterndale. So here I am now on the 425 metre summit of Chrome Hill, and I've got such a good view to the lower 360 metre summit of Beghaus Hill. So it's 2 Ethels done so far, and as you've probably seen in the video, it's incredibly busy up here. I've seen at least 150 people, and there's more and more just coming in big groups. So it'd be really interesting to contrast that to the other 2 Ethels that I'm going to do today. So I'm heading down the final spine now of the Dragon's Back, and I keep talking about Ethels, but some people might not know what they actually are. But it's a list of 95 summits or prominent peaks, most of them above 400 metres within the Peak District National Park, although there are a couple I think just dotted on the outskirts. and they're named after Ethel Haythornthwaite, who was a real pioneer in establishing the Peak District as the first national park in Britain. So it's effectively like a tick list of summits or main summits within the national park boundary. Very similar to that of like the Wainwrights in the Lake District and the Munros of Scotland, and Crome Hill and Parkhouse Hill being two of them, as well as Hollins Hill just over here and High Edge, which sits just the other side of this little knoll. So I've done about 3.5 kilometres only of this walk, so I've only done the first kind of quarter, but I think I've done probably the most strenuous and the steepest section. So I'm going to be heading over to Hollins Hill first. Do you know, I think the Ethels really are important to the Peak District because it not only immortalises Ethel herself forever, it also makes people explore beyond what they know already. I've been to the Peak District many times in the past, and I've never sat on the summit of Hollins Hill, and I've never been to High Edge either. So I'm quite excited to go and explore these other peaks, things that I wouldn't think to come and explore or not even know that I can get up. I've been on Crome Hill and Parkhouse Hill once in the past, and I didn't think to explore the other summits just nearby. So having that definitive list of all these summits that you can actually go to, I think is really going to open up bigger walks, more adventurous walks, and just a bigger appreciation for the Peak District. So it's worth noting that the book actually only includes 74 of the 95 Ethels, because some are just outside the boundary, but there are quite a few that have no public access to the top. So I'm in access land, which means I'm allowed to roam across this hilltop, but there are some on private land, which is a bit sad, and it means that you can't actually summit all 95 unless you're willing to trespass on private land. But let's have a closer look at the route that I've taken today. So within the book, it gives me a distance, it gives me a grade, how much ascent there is, the time it takes for an average walker, trekker, fast packer and trail runner as well. Apparently a trail runner can do this in about 2 hours. I've been going for 2 hours and 20 and I'm only on peak number 3. A tick list here whether or not you're hitting an Ethel or a trig point, and then things like a what 3 words and a grid reference, yes, here it is, to the actual start point, and also a latitude and longitude as well. And then directions for the walk, a nice scale here showing how much elevation you're gaining and when on the walk, and then of course a map. So I started down in Earl Sterndale, I've gone up Parkhouse Hill, up Crome Hill, round on Hollins Hill at the moment, just here. And I've just noticed it actually gives you summit heights as well. I had to Google those when I was up on Parkhouse Hill and Crome Hill to work out what they were, but 375 for Parkhouse Hill and 443 for Crome Hill apparently. 450 here at Hollins Hill, and then High Edge 462, so actually that'll be the highest point on the walk. So looking at the route now, I'm going to go down to the road, follow this lovely S-bend, and I can see some cows and stuff just on the distance over there. I think High Edge is just on the right of those, where I think I can make out some pillboxes. Something that might be quite interesting to go have a quick snout at those, and then descend down the north side of High Edge and join the road going east, and then there's a trackway. I think that's going to descend all the way down into Earl Sterndale, which I can see just over here. So here I am now on the 462 metre summit of High Edge, and this one was a little bit tricky to get to because it's very much fenced in. There is a tiny little way round just at the top over there, but it is on access land, so you are allowed to come here, and it's topped by this enormous World War II building. It looks like a pillbox, but also probably had some kind of gun battery on top or something. It is the biggest I think I've ever seen. Look at that. Some kind of either entrance there, or that's where the gun placement was on the other side. I'm not 100% sure, but look at the views from up here. I think that might be Harper Hill down here, the big climbing area, very popular climbing area. And then turning this way, I can make out the summit of Parkhouse Hill and Crome Hill that way. And then over to the west, Hollins Hill over there with the burial mound you can make out on the top as well. And it's a proper 360-degree summit from here. Like, the view is just incredible. Again, it just reaffirms that, you know, these little outlying fells, or fells you've not heard of before, really do pack a punch when it comes to views. So what I'm going to do now is head back onto the footpath, circumnavigate these cows here, which I did to get up here, down to the road. I'm going to follow that for some way before joining a track that leads me down to Earl Sterndale. I can see it right over in the distance over there. So about 2.5, 3 miles to go. Well, I'm on the last few hundred metres of the walk now, and it's a steep descent, but a breathtaking view of two of probably the most iconic peaks around here, Parkhouse Hill on the left and Crome Hill on the right. Now, just in the description below, there is a link to the book if you're interested. And if you have enjoyed the video, hit like, leave a comment below, and also subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time.